rabbis, rebbezins, Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Israel, President of the United Synagogue, President of the Board of Deputies, ladies and gentlemen. It is a mitzvah to count. Today we have counted day number 17 of the Omer. And today we have counted day number 572 since the 7th of October and since the remaining hostages are still in captivity. And this evening, Barosh Uvarishona, our first and prime responsibility is to pray to the Almighty for the swift and safe return of every single one of the hostages back to the embrace of their families. The ambassador has mentioned that this is her concluding Yom Hazikaron and Yom Ha'atzmaut here in London. Ambassador Hotoveli, on behalf of everyone present, may I thank you for your term of office here, which will still continue for a few more months. We thank you for being an outstanding representative of the State of Israel. And for us, you are not only a representative of Medinat Yisrael, you are also a representative of Torat Yisrael. And this is something which we appreciate enormously. We thank you for all your visits to our communities, for your concern about our welfare and our well-being. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless you in all your future endeavors to have bracha v'atzlacha for everything you do for and on behalf of the Jewish people. To Tnuat Bnei Akiva, we thank you not only for tonight's service, which is an event that we look forward with such keen anticipation to every year. We thank you for everything you're doing as a truly remarkable and wonderful youth movement in order to strengthen the Jewish identity of our children here in the UK. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless this marvelous tznuah, that in the future you will only go Mechayel El Chayel. This evening I would like to share with you 4 brief sentiments. The first is, Odecha ki anitani vatehi li lishua. We thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for answering our prayers and for saving the Jewish people. On Sunday, Valerie and I, together with 180 British Jews, visited Germany. We stood in Bergen-Belsen to mark the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the camp. We recalled not only the horrific suffering of those who were imprisoned there, but also of an event which happened immediately after liberation. Reverend Leslie Hardeman from London, chaplain to the British forces, gathered together those survivors who could walk and stand. There were only a few of them. And within that group, they prayed. And at the conclusion of that ceremony, and if you haven't ever seen the video of it, I recommend that you do. It's exceptionally moving. At the conclusion of that ceremony, they sang Hatikva. And if, in the midst of that hell on earth, they could express the sentiment, Od lo avda tikvatenu, we will always have hope in the future, then how much more so can we express that very sentiment here this evening? And we recognize how within 3 short years HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought us to Kum HaMedina. And therefore we thank Hashem for the blessing, the gift of the State of Israel, and for preserving it throughout 77 momentous years. My second sentiment, Even ma'asu habonim hayeta lerosh bina. The stone that the builders have rejected has become a cornerstone. Ever since the creation of the state, there have been some who would have preferred a map of the world to exclude a state of Israel. Indeed, we sometimes actually see certain maps in which Israel doesn't appear, and then people say afterwards, oh, it was too small to include it. Sometimes we actually know what they really would have preferred. And ever since the 7th of October, that idea has intensified, and more people tragically would actually like to see, it's difficult to say it, an end to the state of Israel. But whether they recognize it or not, Even Ma'asua Bonim, this very stone that they have rejected, Hayatala Rosh Bnei, is the cornerstone of our civilization today. It's a fulfillment of the promise given by Hashem to Avram and Sarah when they made Aliyah. Va'avarecha mevarechecha, I will bless those who bless you. U'mekalelecha a'or, and I will curse those who curse you. V'nivrachu v'cha kol mishpachot ha'adama, and every family on earth will be blessed through you. That is the bracha that Medinat Yisrael genuinely gives right around the world today to enhance and enrich the lives of everyone on this globe. And the way in which Israel has excelled in this extraordinary achievement is quite marvelous. The mindset of Israel through so many wars and through the current existential threat. And even today, as fire ravages through Israel, the resilience and the fortitude that is being shown is remarkable. I'm sure many of you, just like us, have members of family who have needed in a rush this afternoon to leave their homes, to evacuate their yishuvim, not knowing what exactly they're going to be coming back to. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless Israel at this time. But the resilience is extraordinary. And you know, we can just but stand in awe at the way in which Israel relates to life. The World Happiness Index is something which is well known. Year after year, including this year, Israel is in the top 10 of the happiest countries on earth. But there's an additional statistic. Not many know it. There's an additional statistic relating to the happiest young adults in the world, young families in the world, and Israel is number 2 in the world right now. This includes many tens of thousands who are in the army, who've been under fire. And for them, they're happy because they know they are part of a nation with a mission, with reason to their existence. And they are genuinely looking forward, despite the current difficulties, to a glorious future. And there's a further statistic which I think is absolutely remarkable. In Western countries around the world, year after year, the birth rate is dropping. But in Israel, in 2024, there was an increase of 10% in the birth rate. And this is not just from Mea Shearim and Bnei Brak, it's from Tel Aviv and Haifa and Ashkelon and Ashdod. If you're bringing a child into the world, that is a vote of confidence in your future, in the country where you're living. And the fact that Israelis are looking forward to a glorious future is something we can just stand in awe about. How remarkable this country is. And my third sentiment, Me'et Hashem ha'itazot, hiniflat be'inenu. This is all from the Almighty. It is astonishing and amazing in our eyes. That truly is the story of Israel today, its journey through 77 years, the reality of Medinat Yisrael. We celebrate her achievements, and we're with her all the way. But sadly, not all Jews in the world today actually agree. Hiniflat be'inenu, it is glorious in our eyes. It's the vast majority of Am Yisrael, but not all of us. Ever since the 7th of October, I've made a point of visiting as many campuses as possible in order to engage with our students there, because I know that they're having such a tough and challenging time. And when it comes to Q&A, without fail, on every campus, there is a question that is asked in one way or another. And that is, Chief Rabbi, how should we be reacting to our fellow Jewish students who are letting us down. They're referring to fellow students, relatively small in number, but the impact they make is enormous. Jewish students who are part of what they call the occupation. Jewish students who are part of ugly demonstrations against Israel and sometimes even leading them. And it's not just here. I've been at other campuses around the world. For example, I visited Columbia, Barnard last year in the summer in the midst of the protest and occupation there, and there they asked the identical question. It is so sad when fellow Jews let us down. On Shabbat we read Parshat Shmini, within which we find the laws of kashrut. When it comes to birds, there are no simanim, no signs. Rather, the Torah gives us a list of the treif birds. If the bird is on that list, we don't eat it. If it's off the list, it can be eaten. And one of those birds is hada'ah, the kite. It's a bird of prey. And the Gemara in Masechet Chulin, Daf Samach Gimel Amud Bet, tells us something extraordinary about the kite. Hada'ah, says the Gemara, Hada'ah omedet bebavel v'ro'ah nevela be'eretz Yisrael. The kite lives, it flies in the skies of Babylon, and from there it sees a nevela, an animal which has died of its own accord, and therefore it is treif. It sees that animal in the land of Israel. Now, what Chazal really want to tell us is that the kite has the eye of an eagle. It's a bird that's very similar to it, but why? It flies around in the skies of Babylon from where it sees a nevela in the land of Israel, a treif animal there. And I think there can be no doubt that Chazal want us to know that it is Hashem's message in the Torah, that when Jews who live in the diaspora look to Israel, and all of their perception is that what they're seeing there is treif, and that is how they view Israel, and that is how they speak about Israel, that's not a reference to Israel, that's a reference to them. Surely at a time such as this, when Israel is fighting for her very survival, at a time such as this where all around us there are people set on demonizing and delegitimizing Israel, and in that way demonizing and delegitimizing the Jewish people, if in the diaspora one is going to choose to open one's mouth and speak in public, what we should be saying is, Israel, we are with you. Israel, we shall forever support you. My fourth sentiment. Zeh hayom asa Hashem, nagila v'nismecha bo. This is the day that Hashem has made. We will be glad and rejoice thereon. There are so many reasons to rejoice, even during these trying times. So many reasons to look forward to a bright and happy future. You know, it's become commonplace for us to say, Am Yisrael Chai. Where is that phrase from? You won't find it in the Bible. You won't find it in the Talmud. Who was the first person to actually utter in public, Am Yisrael Chai? It was a phrase which was uttered for the first time in public in Belsen by Reverend Leslie Hardeman. At the conclusion of that singing of Hatikva, Reverend Hardeman exclaimed from the depths of his heart passionately, Am Yisrael Chai. And tonight, we know that that is true. With all our challenges, with the sadness in our hearts for the bereaved, with the challenges that face us, with the fires that are ravaging, with the war that is still on, with our hostages still to come back home, we know we're part of a great people. We know that Medinat Yisrael is a great country. We know that the Jewish people will live on forever and will thrive. And therefore, from the depths of hearts tonight, we exclaim, Am Yisrael Chai.